families and for individuals too.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. There we go. And so that's basically what we do here. I do want to go into a whole lot of detail because I think it's one of those things that's probably better suited for one-on-one conversations with folks that are interested. I'm just going to kind of open it up for questions and some conversation here. Anything that sounds of interest to you that I might be able to help out, or maybe situations that you've run into that I might be able to help out with. So no obligation here, other than hopefully Robin will leave me on here for a couple of minutes and won't shut me off. So any questions or anything from anybody? Sure. You're on mute. You're muted.
It's still muted. There you
go.
There you go.
I'm sorry, I had to step out for a minute. What I've been wondering about offering our staff, not insurance, I don't think we could afford that, but what about something about gathering money for 501k or whatever, 401k or something like that?
Sure.
So, we have a lot of single moms who work here.
Mm-hmm.
What about having something for retirement that we could start putting aside?
How many employees do you have?
Well, we just have 7, but that's 7 lovely ladies.
Sure. Yeah, and that's actually one of the things that we do, and I have several of them set up actually for farms, even that type of thing, where there's there may be part-time employees. I think they have to work a minimum of 20 hours a week or something to get this. But we can set up what we do is it's called a simple IRA. Whenever we establish those, the employees do a payroll deduction, so their money goes into the IRA once a year. Once a year, the employer does make a contribution, generally in January, and you set that up. You set that up depending on what percentage you want to do that. What you want to set up for those employees. They work pretty well. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So the simple IRA that you set up, it's coming out of their money.
That's correct. Except
now there is a contribution.
That's correct. Yeah, the employer makes some contribution. There are a couple of different limits on what you do and how you can do it. The type of employees that I think that you're talking about here, I mean, you can do as little as $5 or $10 a month. I mean, it's you can do very, very low contributions. We generally try to, as Robin knows, I generally try to ask people to do like $50 a month or something like that. That helps build it up. Build up those things for retirement. But those are some options. Yeah.
Mike, is there a minimum that the employer must contribute?
Yes.
What's that?
It's like 2% of their 2% of the amount. I'd have to get you the specific details, but that's there are a couple of different options on those plans to set up.
And last, Karina, I didn't know you were on there. I'm glad you're there. Another question I have, instead of the employee contributing each pay, is there a way to set it up that the employer contributes?
Sure, you can do that. And there are other IRA options that might work better for, it really depends. Those questions start coming into, is it for an employee's benefit or is it for the employer's benefit? Because there are plans that you can set up where the employer, they're called discriminatory plans, where you can put a lot more money in if you choose than you're doing for the employees. So there's those type of options also. Those are different plans that are probably best suited for one-on-one conversations with what you're trying to do.
Well, Karina is our financial guru. I'm asking questions, and my questions are based on employee benefits.
Sure.
So, but she would know what we could do as employers. Sure. But thank you.
Yeah. And the other thing is a nice option. a nice option for helping, especially even young mothers or so, like you're saying. We have a program called EWL. It's Employee Whole Life, where they actually pay for their life insurance policies. There's very limited underwriting in those types of plans. The nice thing about it is they are payroll deduction, and there's really no contribution in those cases by the employer. The employees do it sometimes as little as whatever their hourly wage is per week. So they'll have and that's kind of nice for some folks that, again, that don't have a lot of money available for life insurance benefits, but they want to have something to do. So
Thank you.
Anybody else? I just want to say before Mike goes that as far as insurance and life insurance and all those different things, I grew up having like an attitude toward it because nobody seemed to trust insurance people. But this guy, I've been working with him for a long time, and he's helpful, he's honest. And I just think, if you're interested, I would go with New York Life.
Thanks, Robin. No, the one thing I will say too is there's absolutely no obligation if anybody would like to set up a time for me to come and talk to you more in more detail. I would gladly do that, and there's no obligation for that. It's just just a matter of the time that we need to do. And I really do like to do things specifically for clients. I mean, everybody's different. All the situations are different. So, whenever I meet with folks, it's we're going to talk a little bit about your whole, the whole system and the whole way you want to go. So, yeah, no, I can do that on the chat line here too. I will tell you that if you want to write it down too, my phone number is 814-397-0580. And I also have an email address is mcorner@ft, that's Frank Tom, .NewYorkLife spelled out.com. I'll put that on the chat line here too, so you have that.
And if you lose it, I've got a bunch of his cards.
Yeah,
I went to put out some for myself for a career day last week, and one of the girls was sorting all those out, and she brought me back 3 of those cards from New York Life, and she goes, "I don't think these are yours." So, because I always just, Michael, if you see him, he'll give you a couple. I just stuff them in my purse. So.
Yeah. And just a reminder also, this is even if the interest is not from the business standpoint, I do individual. It's not all business related. I do individual and family type things also. Again, both in the retirement end as well as life insurance. So, okay. Anybody else? I think, Robin, I'll get off here, then you guys can go about your business then.
Okay.
Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it.
No problem. Talk to you later.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put up my agenda. Unless, do you guys have one in front of you? No. Oh, some of you do, some of you don't. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Let me see. There it is. It's coming. Can you see it? Okay. All right. So one of the things I just wanted to ask you, and you can either, unmute and talk to me, or you can just put it on the chat. But I was with Susan on Tuesday and had my monitor visitor, my PRI visit with her. And while we were talking, she was asking me how many of you are going to Kalahari. So if it doesn't matter who's going, but if you've got other people going with you, would you just put the number in for me so that I know? And I realized whenever Mike was talking, who was missing is Michelle Brady. I knew there was another person missing, so from Corey. All right. That conference, I was surprised when Susan talked to me about that. That conference is something that is in our grant that we're actually required to do, to go to that annual meeting. But I will say this, some of you have been there before, but if you've never been to one, they are really helpful because you can choose what you want to hear about, but they also give out prizes and things like that. So it's a lot of fun. And that, if you've never been to that resort, I just personally love all the different African artifacts and different paintings that are there. So, but I think this time I'm going to try to go swimming. So, all right. Then I thought the other thing that I wanted to talk to you a little bit about was that RFP that we're going to go over in March when it comes out. And that's the application. And I wanted to see if, I know that Stacy and Tina had given out that needs assessment, which I thought was awesome. But
I haven't gotten anything back from anybody.
not yet.
so-
Yeah. I just realized why I can't hear you very well. I undid my speakers. I just got a brand new wireless keyboard and the mouse that goes with it, and I couldn't figure out where the wired part went. And now I know what happened. So, but anyway, yeah, I'm sure, because didn't you give us a deadline of March something?
Yeah, it was March 8th. I'll be honest. It's in March.
Yes. And I
And I'd
know
love
it's
to,
hard
we could
because,
at least get,
yeah, I know parents don't always, send it right back either. So you have
Yeah.
to keep bugging them until they bring it back. to you.
yeah.
So, all right. So I was just thinking, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the program's history when we do that, when we do the application. But there's a lot of different things in there, like the rationale of needs, and I spelled rationale wrong, and the needs assessment by community. So, I'm looking at Meadville because several of you are there, but I'm also thinking about Erie County. So I'm thinking about, even though you're not in the same place, Arlene and Michelle might be able to work together. And we have another person. I kind of wanted to see if anybody had any thoughts about this too. We have another somebody who wants to be a partner, and that is right downtown in Erie. It's the ABC Child Care Center. It's a 24-hour. So I don't know if I really could take on another one, but I thought maybe if you had, any thoughts about it, you could tell me what you think. Anyone? I just saw Arlene's face. That was all I saw. That's okay, Arlene. That's good. So, all right. Well, another area in the application is funding strategies. So we want to think about that. And I just thought, since all of you showed up for the meeting, I really appreciated that too. I thought maybe if we could maybe even divvy up some of this stuff and work on it, I bet we would come up with some really good things. So, because what I used to do was just take all those questions and send them to you, to each one of you, and then I would just take down whatever you had, and that's not working out. As a matter of fact, Susan was telling Arlene that it would be easier if we could try to, get these things where they are a cohesive unit instead of all these pieces that I'm cutting and pasting in there. So, and then another one of those questions, and you'll probably remember all these, how your partnerships maximize resources. So it can be like little things like how Stacy is willing to, send her behavioral therapist over to creating landscapes because they're right next door. It could be something like that, but it also could be something that has to do with, child development centers. I know we all, have little things we say about Head Start, but, there are things that they can work with us on. So I think that's another one that people could work with. And then family engagement. You all are really good with family engagement, I think. So if we could, just think about it and just kind of come up with what you'd like to do, you can just let me know. And it does talk about transition efforts, but there's more than just the school. It's more than just from your program to go to school, it's actually from classroom to classroom that they ask about too.
Hey, Robin, I was thinking too, like if you just sent us those questions and if we were to fill them out like we did in the past, I'm happy to take that information and weave it together to say like collectively, here's what we all do and kind of
Right.
look for those similarities and kind of string it all together, but
Right.
also kind of talk about some of those differences because I'm sure there's a lot of things we all do and I'm happy to kind of meld that all together so it doesn't look so cut and paste, if that helps.
Oh, that's perfect. I love that.
That's
Another
nice,
thing that I
Arlene.
was
Thank
just
you.
gonna, yeah, another thing that I was thinking to mention too was when we come up with, you know, that needs assessment that we're doing in different areas. That's important because it's now, it's the present day. But one of the things that Susan also mentioned, I think she did at the meeting as well, is that you know, they don't want old data, they want newer data, and they want you to, you know, get creative with your data. So it might be with Cindy over, you know, over in Conneautville, she could get some information from the prison over there in Albion. Cambridge Springs, the same thing, you know. I don't know. I'm thinking I just remember one of our girls at Meadville Children's Center years ago got information from the Meadville Hospital, which I think I've mentioned that before. So there was a lot, you know, unwed mothers, I don't know, just incarcerated parents, parents on drugs, that kind of thing, you know. And so then she asked too that when we think about those things, that we want to make sure we share how we prioritize on the list then, once we see what they need. Okay. It'll ask about our staffing plans, and I think that was pretty much it. You know, what all she wants to hear from us. Or they want to hear from us, which is the whole state. So any questions about any of that?
Yeah, are
Or
you
any
able
thoughts?
to get our past applications so we can see where our scores were? And because I remember they said that we could see that and see what opportunities we have. Or
Mhm.
maybe that would help us to kind of go back to the drawing board with our original application.
Yeah, I'll go back and look and see if I can't find them. I know I have sent things out, the e-grants information. I've sent them to our grant people here. So I know I have that, but it would be nice to see how they were scored as well. So, okay. I'll write that down so I don't forget.
While we're kind of going over this real quick, Robin. So not next Wednesday, the following Wednesday, March the 1st, we're going to have a literacy night here at the downtown Y. If anybody wants to come out and just kind of see what we do for that, we've invited all our families to come. We've got free books to give away to kids. We've got different family activities. We've invited public like the mayor and principals and everything. So if anybody's in Meadville, y'all want to stop by, come on down. It's from 6 to 7:30 on March the 1st.
That is so awesome. When you know, I just heard I have another huge obligation for my son at the middle school, Stace. But
Oh.
you said it's 6 to 7:30?
6
And
to
it's tomorrow?
7:30. Yeah.
Okay, gonna let my families know. It's open to the community then?
Yep. Go ahead and send them.
I was gonna say, yeah, if you have any brochures or anything, we'll definitely let
Yeah,
let 'em
I
know.
can do
I
that.
was
I can
just
email them.
talking about literacy to the school. We need to do more of it. I think that's great. I think it's
Yep.
phenomenal. Yeah.
Do you know what night of the week that is?
It's a Wednesday.
Wednesday. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Okay. All right. Any other thoughts or questions? I'm going to take that off too. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. There. Now I can see you all better. And I promised Joyce that I would bring her down the class book. It's still sitting in my car. My car is actually broken right now, so I'll have to go out and get it so I can come down to see you. Well, a few weeks ago, it was really, really bad out. My husband took my car to take our grandson home. And on the way back, he went into the median and lost the whole front of the car. He said, I think I totaled it, but he was able to drive it home. So
I hope he's doing better, Robin. I remember when that happened, that day I
Yeah.
saw you. Yeah.
yeah,
I
thank you. I just don't have it back yet. That's the only thing. We're waiting on parts, believe it or not. And I've called a couple times and finally the secretary said, when it's ready, when we get the parts in, we'll call you. So that's kind of how it works.
Just as I'm thinking, Stace, I mean, I think it's great you guys are doing that. I mean, because we're big on family engagement. If you all, I know we haven't done this, and I don't know what's been done. I'm a new director, but we're close by. And I know that we would like to partner more with some of the agencies too and get involved in that stuff. So in the future, you know, moving forward, if there's some of you that want to do that for our community, the reason I say that, I'm thinking of, I need to do some safety management. I have some contacts at Sarah Reed, you know what I mean? So bringing people to speak about certain things in terms of conscious discipline, how to help our staff with safety, with things like that. You know, you're doing the literacy night. So just keep us in mind, because we, you know, in the future, if things come up like that, we'd be glad to, you know, consider partnering with some of you. I mean, I think that's great for our community because there's such a need in so many areas. Literacy is a huge one, which I don't think we do enough from school. I was just talking this morning. It's so funny you say that. 'Cause this morning they removed it from the middle school where my son's at, and I have a huge problem with it. They're trying to put it back, but we need to do these things more. So I'm big on working together collaboratively, and it's nice that you guys are bringing that up, but I just wanted to say that.
That is something that was my desire all the time that I've worked with pre-K counts, was to get something in Meadville. Because I know Arlene can tell you, and Michelle too, but she's not here, that in Erie, we meet on a monthly basis, although I didn't show up, I think, yesterday morning. But I just seem to have all these Zoom meetings all at the same time. I don't understand it. But anyway, it's one of those things where they have meetings monthly, and then every year, except for when it's been COVID, they go to the Tom Ridge Environmental Center, and we do a pre-K counts awareness day, and we do all kinds of different things in the rooms.
I know pre-COVID, we had learn meetings here in Meadville.
Right.
And that was really, really nice, where just directors could sit together once a month. I think we met at Perkins, if memory serves. And we'd sit down, we'd all get breakfast, and we could just hash out things that we had going on. And I really think we need to get back into that, you know, even if we just start with Joyce and you and me and Megan. And I don't know who else here is in Meadville. Arlena, you're in Erie, aren't you? Nah, you don't count.
We can go halfway, or we'll go to Erie.
We'll all meet in Edinburgh and call it a day.
Hey, I love that idea. I really do. I think that's great.
Yeah, I think even if we just get together and get, you know, and just to see what's going on, because the more we can collaborate, the better off we're going to be.
Well, we can try to do that. Let's make it a goal. When do we want to try? We want to try maybe March or April?
I say April because you know we're going to get that St. Patrick's Day snowstorm.
Well, that right, and plus we have to go. We're all or most of us are heading to Poconos too.
Yes, that's true too.
That's true.
So, Joyce, I'm feeling really bad because I know you've introduced your workers with me many times, but I have forgotten her name.
No, I'm so glad you noticed. It's our new office manager. Brittany had to move on, and we have Jira Lodge with us, and she just started last week and doing a fabulous job in our office.
That's great.
Engaging with the children. They love when she comes in the room, and a wonderful force with the families. So we're happy to have Jira Lodge, and I'm expecting she will attend these meetings.
Oh, welcome. Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Welcome.
Really good to be here.
Yeah. I'm new too, Gerald Lodge. Yeah. They all know.
So, are there any other things that you can think of that you wanted to talk about, or anything before we go? Because we still have a little time, but I don't want to keep you if you have other things to do.
I have a question about the family survey. We have it. We love it, Tina, and thank you for it. It says they can take it online, and we're thinking of, Kelly and I talked over, and maybe even giving parents some time to do it online here. We could set up our laptops and do it online. It says to go to www.meadvilleymca.org.
It's
So
a
that's what
Google
they do?
Doc. The link is a Google Doc.
Okay.
And so basically we did a Google Doc because that way we can be anonymous. And it will also send our answers right to us, and it will help calculate everything. So,
Okay,
Great.
yeah.
so we'll work on it. And I think your date was March something. We'll get them.
Yeah, it's in the stack of mess somewhere. I don't remember where, but I know it was like, I want to say mid-March, I think is what it was, but I don't remember. off
Does
the top of
anybody
my head.
else here, you have all these papers on your desk and you shuffle them and then you can't find any of them? That
I
happens-
moved the stack. See, the
Yes.
stack was here. And now it's over here. Look, can you see it? There it is. I just moved the stack.
I don't feel so crazy anymore.
And tomorrow,
Megan knows, she's been here enough. The poor thing brought a notebook a couple weeks ago. She sat it down. It got lost. I found it
Oh, no.
2 weeks later.
Yeah, we're thinking Stace, we're gonna do it both ways. We're gonna do the online and also do the paper, but do it back to front, because I know you have it 4 pages, but maybe do it that way.
Yeah, that's totally fine. And if you guys do get paper copies, just bring them to me and I'll
Okay.
plug them in. That's totally
Okay.
fine.
All right.
One of the things I like about doing it online is that when you got parents there, you could have your computer set up for them and they'll stop and do it.
Yeah.
What were you gonna
ours-
say, Michelle?
That was a
We
good
sent
idea.
ours out yesterday and I'm already starting to get some back. And I know my CEO made a Google Doc too, to put on our Facebook. So I don't know how Stacy, I'm gonna get that to you. I don't, maybe just give you access to it. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, that's totally fine. If not me, Tina, because she knows how to pull that too. So
okay, all right, yep. And I told him to have it back by the 2nd, so I should have plenty of time to get everything to you.
great. Thank you.
Thank you.
and then if you're in the local area, Chestnut Street, tomorrow is Winterfest, sponsored by the Early Learning Resource Center, FCCA, and FCCA PreK Counts. I know we're taking our kids over. It's a kind of like a street fair kind of thing going on between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. You can just drop along the street.
Is
And I
it
know
10
they're
to-
pretty excited. FCCA people are pretty excited about setting this up. And I think we might get some sprinkles of snow through the day, which would be nice too.
And if you
Yeah.
do get cold, we are going to have a warming station here inside the Y.
Oh,
So if you're walking
of course you
around and
are.
you're cold, stop in and get some hot chocolate.
Oh,
10 to 2? Is that the
10
time?
too.
Okay. All right,
Right along the street. They're blocking off the street.
nice. Okay. All right. And, oh, yes, Michelle.
Sorry. Hey, I just want to let everybody know we had our redetermination today and we maintained our star 4. So pretty excited about that. Arlene, thank you so
Yay.
much. She was such a resource to me and she provided me with a lot of stuff that sounded the same as mine, but wasn't up to par. So her excellence helped us with our star 4. So thanks again.
That's great. I'm so glad to hear that. Okay. Anything else? All right. I know I didn't even let it go 8 seconds like you're supposed to. I'm looking at you. You all look like you're ready to get off. So,
Aw.
all right. Have a good rest of the day. And thank you so much for getting on. It's nice. And thank you for, that is one more thing I would like to ask. I'm sorry. Thank you for listening to the insurance guy too. But does anybody have anything that they would like to have on, as a guest speaker, like for next month or anything? If you think
What
of
about
some,
information on Rosie? That
Yeah.
keeps getting thrown around and we got our book and I need to go through it, but I think we all need to start turning that more into our classrooms. That's Rosie approved, or what's the word?
yeah,
So I think it might be good for us.
yeah. Susan, whenever we met, she was talking about Joyce's classroom is very much like what they show in Rosie. So, so. All right, I will see what I can find for us. Thanks so much, you guys.
Thank you.
Later.
Robin.
Bye, guys.
See ya. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.